Now, before we dwell into mutual funds, let me quickly get in the management of KEC International after they put out the numbers, the decision to transfer the cables business into a subsidiary and a fundraise arrangement as well being planned. Vimal Kejriwal, Managing Director and CEO of KEC International, with us on the show. About a couple of months after Mr. Kejriwal telling us that in his 22 years, he's not seen the kind of business opportunity that exists currently. Mr. Kejriwal, great having you. Thanks for joining in. Is this the quarter that you were working with? Because it was single-digit growth on the revenue front, margins flattish, but of course the bottom line growth was very healthy. But is this the quarter that you were working with, or could you have done better except for one or two things not working out?
Good afternoon, Niraj. We can always do better. Okay, there's no question about it. I think this quarter we were hoping to do better than what we have done, at least in terms of revenue. And if you've done revenue better, then margin would have automatically improved further. I mean, basically what happened during this quarter was that we got hit, I think like everyone else, by shortage of manpower due to elections. People went to their home states and all that, and they did not return for a long time. In fact, they are returning even now. So even July has been a little bit of a setback. But I think otherwise we are happy. We still delivered a 6% growth, quarter-on-quarter improvement in EBITDA, PBT and PAT have doubled than last year. So overall we are happy. And I think more than that, we had an order intake of 7,600 crores. So that way, if you look at the quarter, I think we are pretty happy with what has happened. And the orders have largely come in also from T&D, where the margins are also relatively better. So overall, I think we are pretty happy with the quarter on most of the, I'll say, aspects. But we would have loved to do a little bit more revenue.
Okay. Yeah, but your margins have been steady. But so is this deferred revenue, Mr. Kejriwal? I mean, a lot of people talking about how quarter one was an anomaly also because of the election piece. I don't know if that impacted. But is this an anomaly or a deferral of revenues? And will we see that happening in Q2 or Q3 or Q4?
So, Niraj, we are still maintaining our guidance for a 15% growth for the whole year.
Right.
So clearly, whatever has happened during this quarter where we have done only 6%, that would result in much better revenues in Q3 and Q4. Q2, I'm still a little bit skeptical because of the monsoon has always been a bit of a dampener, and also because of the labor is still returning. So I think we'll have a sharp kicker coming in Q3 and Q4 to enable us to maintain what we had said, a 15% growth for the whole year.
Okay. This decision to shift the cables business into a separate subsidiary, I mean, just explain the rationale. Is it value unlocking or is it just a normal business transaction that I'm misreading?
So right now, I don't think we are discussing value unlocking. What has happened is that, we have done around 1,600 crores, 1,675 crores this year in cables, and we expect to do around 2,000. Our margins are, I'll say, around 6%, which is almost 300 basis points or 400 basis points below what, competitors in cable are earning. So we did feel that, I think this business, which has got a huge potential, requires a lot more focus than what we are able to give sitting in an EPC company. So that was the basic reason we said that let's separate out the product part of it and let us have a, different sort of structure, work on it, and so that, we can catch up with that 300, 400 basis point difference. Whatever capex is required to take it to the next, let's say 3,000 crores, we are already incurring that capex. And then the feeling was that, if that business has to grow beyond that, then we'll need to make a lot more substantial investments into setting up new factories, etc., which I did not want to divert from my EPC business. So that was the basic reason that we segregated. And then, whatever growth capital they require for going beyond 3,000, then they can raise on their own. Whether I'm sure that it will increase the value, whether we are going to unlock that value or not, I don't have a line of sight today. Right now, we are moving it to 100% subsidiary so that it remains, all the gains which come accrue to the shareholders of KEC.
Okay. So not done with a specific intent of unlocking value and listing it at some point of time in the next 2 years. Nothing of that nature as of now.
As of now, no. But I do not know after 2 years, 3 years, what we may decide to do. So,
but
I'll
nothing
not
yet.
Say that it is nothing yet. No.
Nothing yet. Okay. This fundraise, the reason for the same, Mr. Kejriwal, and would you go the whole extent, or is this an enabling resolution, and therefore you've taken the maximum or whatever you wanted to, but you might do a smaller one?
So we have got two different items here. One is the debt, 1,500 crores, so which is a normal debt item. which we'll use to probably replace our working capital. So that will not increase our debt. Equity, I think you are absolutely right. It is an enabling resolution. We do not have anything in mind. But basically, when we decided to do that, we had two things what we were thinking of doing. One is, we have been growing very fast and we have not put in any capital. So we said that if we feel that, if there's a need to strengthen our balance sheet, reduce our debt and something, maybe a part of that can be used for that purpose. And a large part of this is very clearly meant for acquisitions. We have been coming across a lot of acquisitions both in India, international, and all that. And then we realized that we are not prepared if we prepared for funding because we had no enabling resolutions, nothing. So it is basically right now it's an enabling resolution, and maybe down the line after some time we will decide as to whether we want to utilize it. If yes, then whether it is for balance sheet strengthening or for acquisition. But I'm very clear that entire piece is not for balance sheet strengthening. Okay.
So did I hear the term acquisition before we wrap up? Did I hear the term acquisition?
No, so a part of it, we had definitely said that we are passing an enabling resolution. So as and when we get any opportunity for acquisition, then we should have the gunpowder ready. That was the whole idea. It's nothing today, but we wanted to keep ourselves ready for that.
Got it. Okay. Well, Mr. Kejriwal, this was lovely. I mean, we'll have to cut it short because I have a guest waiting on the mutual fund show. But my request would be that while we've done a series of these conversations, we haven't done this in person. So I'd take this opportunity to invite you to come to our studios one of the days when you are around, and would love to do a longer format conversation.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time today. All right, viewers, we need to take a break on